All right, we're back. And now we're going to start working on the file structure. And I'd like you to go ahead and give this a try on your own. This is the starting file structure. You need to make it so that, well, there should be at least three more directories inside SRC. The vendor directory will contain normalized.css and any required font files. You can leave the fonts for later if you want, but you should probably just go ahead and grab normalized.css now. Just create the utils directory. Don't worry about what goes in it. In the components directory, you're going to store your React components. But now, what to do with the style sheets? You have two options. One is this option. The other is this option. So either store the style sheets inside components directory with subdirectories all with the same name as the component. And that's a nice way to do it, and often it's done that way with components, but it it does not actually scope the CSS to these components. You would need some additional tools to make that happen. All the CSS is still globally available. So there's a lot of good justification for just sticking with uh, this process, this uh, paradigm where you just use BEM like before. And I'm a little torn on which one I should use, but in the past I have used this, and I will just stick with that, and that is what most students opt for. So give it a try, then unpause the video, and I will show you how I would do it. But hey, so make sure you run the project and open it in the console, because you're gonna run into some errors at some point in this process that you're gonna need to resolve. Well, you probably will. It's possible that you won't, but you probably will. Okay, give it a try, then unpause the video. Okay, well, so assets, we can either keep it named assets or change it to images. I'm not going to change it. I'll just keep it named assets. Regarding this asset, this image, we don't need it, so you can delete it. Same with this one. It's a Vite icon. We don't need that. Now, we need to create some directories, right? Let me just kill that. So I'm in the SRC directory already, so I can create the directories simply like this. Make dir components, vendor, utils. And if you want to make the blocks directory, you could add that here too. There we are. Now, if I'm not using a blocks directory, I will need subdirectories for every component. So make dir components/app. Both of these files go in there. Utils, ignore for now. Vendor, we need normalized.css. Now, probably you have another project and you can just quickly find your normalized.css from there, but we also could just go to normalized.css, GitHub, yep, right here. And this is where the most current version lives. Where is it? Right here. And I'll just copy the content because I find that easier than downloading a file. And then code vendor. Here, I'm going to cd back to the root directory. And then make dir src vendor not maker. We need to create a file, normalize.css, paste that in there. To make this work, what do we need to do? We need to import it somewhere, right? Well, index.css is the place that we would probably want to do that, because that's our, say, top level CSS file. All this CSS that's in there to begin with, just delete it. That's the stuff that was included for Veet's little demo project. We have no need for that. Import the file path. And don't forget how to do this. Just either start with a dot slash or a dot dot slash and follow the path. And if you do that, you almost guarantee yourself to not mess up. Okay. Is index.css imported anywhere? Yes. It's still being imported into main.jsx, so that is fine. Now, note, VS Code has, without even telling me, updated this file path. See, this is what it was before. It was just app.jsx. It inserted this. Why it does it sometimes and it doesn't do it other times, I'm actually not sure. But in this case, it did it for us. And that, I think, might mean that there are no errors to deal with. Refresh. Nope, these are other errors. But so in this case, failed to resolve import assets/react.svg from here. Well, of course, I deleted that file, so we can't import it, right? So where is that? It tells us where it is. That's from the app component, so we can go there. Is there anything else that we should do while we're here? Yeah, this one. That one, I also deleted that, so it's going to give us an error, veet.svg, so we get rid of that too. app.css. app.css was also moved, but no changes were made and no changes need to be made to the file path. And why is that? Because it got moved along with app.jsx. They're in the same relationship positionally to one another that they were before. They're right next to each other in the same directory. So the relative file path between them does not need to change. Here we've got more CSS that we have no need for, so delete it. We've also got some more default code here, which we do not need because we're not making a counter application. So we delete all that stuff and just leave that there. We'll need it eventually anyway. Back to the browser, refresh. No errors. Let's verify that normalize.css is set up. And we can verify that by, the way I do it is check the body and interesting. So that's not very helpful. Usually this would, okay, that's interesting. So I was expecting, maybe you will see something different because I'm pretty sure I've seen it this way even in a React project. But what I was expecting was for it to say that this was coming from normalize.css because that's what I usually see and that's how I check. But in this case, that didn't work out so well. But all right. So there we are. this title, we don't want that as a title. So we can change that to WTWR. That might be the only thing we'll do inside this file.